Hi everyone, welcome back, and I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're enjoying your summer, if it is summer where you are. I thought today we would make this a summer themed video, all about my summer essentials across every category, basically. I have makeup, I have skincare, hair care, devices, fragrance. I live in LA, so I do live in a warm climate, but I definitely come alive in summer. It's my favorite season. So I have things here that are new to me that I've been loving and enjoying, but I also have some things that are long time essentials that I bring out every summer. We're gonna talk about everything today, basically. Let's lay it all out there and let's get into it. Why don't we start with skincare? I have combo oily skin, but I am noticing in my 30s that my skin is much more dehydrated than it used to be in my 20s. I would say I'm still combo, I'm still oily, and I definitely get oily in the summer, but I do need a burst of hydration in my skincare for sure. Because I do get oily, I really like to start and end with a very thorough cleanse. I am loving the Beekman 1802 Micellar Milk Froth. This is a gel cleanser. It's been really good at giving me a thorough cleanse and really getting any oils off my skin. And I've been using it as a morning cleanse as well as a second cleanse. So it's been really, really great. Not stripping, but definitely a thorough cleanse. It's not too foaming, and it's not going to dry you out. It just gives you a really great clean canvas to start and end the day. Because it is summer, I am switching over to lighter moisturizers, especially during the daytime. Sometimes in the evening I like something richer overnight, but during the daytime I've really been loving this. This is the Estera Atto Barrier 365 Hydro Soothing Cream. I have talked about their regular Atto Barrier 365 cream, which is a regular cream moisturizer. This is their hydro cream, basically. It's a gel cream. And I really love this because it doesn't get gummy and it doesn't get weird on the skin. Sometimes I feel like gel creams or water creams, they can actually pill on the skin or not play well with other skincare depending on the formula. This one is actually really hydrating. It feels like a cool drink of water. It has that water burst feel, but it really plays well with others. It gives me hydration throughout the day, but it's never heavy. It just gives me just enough to feel like I am hydrating the skin. I go over it with SPF, and it gives me glassy, lightweight hydration. And then of course, I'm going to say SPF. I have been testing a ton of new SPFs recently. These are two that have stood out to me. They're kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of price point, but they're both really, really beautiful. So this is the Ordinary's new SPF. It's their UV Filters SPF 45, and it's a PA of 4 pluses. These are both chemical SPFs. That's generally my preference for day to day. There are times where I do look for a mineral, but I love this because it comes with a little pump and it is a very fluid SPF. So it's like serum-y, and then it sinks into the skin really quickly. It is dewy. It does have a bit of hydration. I would say if you have oily skin, you could definitely skip moisturizer with this, but it sinks in really quickly. It dries down and it is comfortable on the skin. It doesn't feel too thick, doesn't feel too heavy. And I really love The Ordinary. I think they do great formulations. I'm excited that they've come out with an SPF, and the little pump does lock as well in case you want to travel with it. This is the Youth to the People Youth Screen. This is an SPF 60. The other one was an SPF 43. And this has been really impressing me because the finish is quite elegant. So this is also a chemical SPF. I'll swatch it on this hand so you can see what it looks like. It starts out not as fluid as the other SPF. Looks like this, but it is still very thin and it's very spreadable. It starts out dewy and it starts to actually like set down on the skin a little bit, and it starts to turn slightly more velvety. I feel like the Ordinary one kind of stays consistent in terms of texture, whereas the Youth to the People goes through a little bit more of like a set down. They're both beautiful, but they are different price points. That said, the Youth to the People one does have SPF 60, and I do feel like it's a slightly different texture, but they're both really, really beautiful. Honestly, I would use them interchangeably in my routines. Something I'm really focusing on this year and this summer and in general in my life is really bringing my skincare down to my neck and my chest, including all of my serums, including moisturizer, including SPF. I feel like I'm so diligent about my face and taking care of my face and my SPF on my face. And I'm really working on bringing it down to my neck every single morning. That said, this segment of the video is sponsored by CurrentBody. You guys know I love my CurrentBody LED devices. I use them religiously. They're so easy to use because they're hands-free. And to me, I measure the value of a device by cost per use. The more hands-free and the easier it is to use, the more likely I am to use it. That's why I use both of these all of the time. So last time I think I talked to you guys about CurrentBody, I showed you the Series 2 LED mask, which came with a bunch of upgrades. It has a new shape that fits the face better. There are more LED lights. I really love it. And it also has this chin strap, which has LED lights along it as well. Since then, CurrentBody has also upgraded their neck and deck perfector. So let me show you all of the upgrades. This basically goes around your neck and it comes with 2 straps, so you can strap it and secure it to the back of your neck. And this goes all the way down your décolleté and it's full of LED lights all the way across, including the neck. So this is what it looks like turned on, and compared to their Series 1 version, this is 24% larger, so you get way more coverage. And there are 179 more LED bulbs than in Series 1, which is a 358% increase in the number of LEDs in this version. I'm someone with super sensitive skin. I'm very prone to pigmentation. I'm very prone to redness and blotchiness, especially when I'm out in the sun. And I've noticed over many, many years of using my LED devices, specifically my CurrentBody LED devices, that my skin is just more luminous, it's more even in tone. The LEDs help fade pigmentation for me, which means it also helps with any potential sun damage I'm getting. And I also feel like I notice improved elasticity in the skin. My skin just feels bouncier, it's more luminous, it's just happier overall. So I really love having a dedicated neck and deck thing. I feel like it just gives me so much more efficiency. I'm covering a lot of surface area when I'm using the mask as well as the neck and deck perfector. You can get each of these individually, or they also come as a bundle. The bundle will save you money already, but I also have a code that will stack on top of the bundle savings. So my code is Becca LED. I'll have it on screen here. And you can use my code with either of these devices or on the bundle. So let's move on to makeup. Why don't we talk about what I'm wearing on my lips now? These are the new Huda Beauty lip contour stains. I just posted and shared our dedicated review of this on Shorts, but these are basically lip liner stain markers. They're felt tip stains, and they give you so much control over your lip liner application. They are matte, they completely dry down, and they do not budge. I feel like in the summer when I'm thinking about makeup, I want it to look great, but I don't want to have to constantly be touching up. I don't want it to be smearing around. That's where these come in. I'm wearing them today. I'm actually wearing a shade called Rosewood as well as Warm Brown. This is Warm Brown, this is Rosewood, but all of these shades are stunning. I'll show you swatches here. The important thing to note about these is that you do want to store them upside down, otherwise the felt tip dries out. That's kind of one of the cons of these. The other thing you want to note is that you want your lips to be completely bare and dry when you apply these. So I always have lip balm on of some sorts. I have to wipe that off, so I'm starting with a completely clean palette on just my bare lips so that you get the full wear time of these. And these will last you all day long, through eating, through drinking. The first night I tried these, we went out to pizza and then we went to a movie and I had greasy pizza, I had popcorn, I had soda, I had candy in the theater, I had everything, and it was still on after all of that, after like a night of eating and being out. So again, can't stress how good these are. I think someone had asked me on Instagram if it looks good when you fill in your whole lip. That's actually what I did today. So you can use it as a liner or you can fill in your entire lip, and the shape makes it really easy to do that. It's like sort of a little paddle shape, but it's flat on the edge, so you can get a really crisp line or you can fill in your whole lip as well. Really, really big fan of these. Oh, another thing about that is they also launched the faux filler jelly oil from Huda. They come in a couple of different shades. There's this peachy one, there's a pinky one, there's like a clearer one that's in my bag right now. And these are really nice. I'll show you how good these are because they have that jelly oil feel. It's more jelly than oil, in my opinion. You can apply a gloss on top and the lip liner will not move. And these are really beautiful on their own. They're super glassy. They make your lips look super lacquered, but they're not sticky at all because they are kind of like a jelly gloss. And then I have some lip products with SPF, and these are the Prequel Lip Visor. They just came out with these like a month ago. There's a clear version, and then there's a shade called Rose Dust. These have SPF 30. It's a chemical SPF, so it's clear. It's not gonna have that like powdery, chunky feel that mineral lip SPFs can have, but it doesn't taste like SPF, and it looks so beautiful on as well. Let me just swatch the shade Rose Dust for you. That's what it looks like. It's so pretty. I like these so much that I've just been applying them as my lip balm. And it's nice because you can just throw it on. You don't have to think too hard about it. And they're just as elegant as any other lip product. I feel like I'm good at applying my SPF and then I forget about my lips. And then at the end of the day, sometimes I have sunburnt lips. That's the worst. So something like this is an absolute essential. These are just like living in my handbag right now. Speaking of long-lasting makeup, low effort but long-lasting, Urban Decay came out with these liquid eyeshadows. They look like this, and they are so beautiful, and specifically I love these two shades. I have not been big on wearing a ton of eyeshadow these days. Usually I just put some bronzer in the crease, but if I do want a little bit of shimmer, I've been loving something like this. So let me show you a close-up. They are kind of bulky. The packaging is a lot, but these are so stunning. This is my favorite shade right now. It's called Silver Spooning. And so it's a brush tip, and you just brush it on. It goes on very, very thinly. It's fluid and it dries down, and then it's totally budge proof. And look how pretty that is. It's like a taupey silver. This does give you some time to work with it, but once it dries down, it's completely on and it gives you this stunning glassy lid. I feel like that's just such a chic color. And then they have Space Cowboy, which is a classic. They have one called Space Cowboy Intense. So it's a little bit more rosy maybe even than Space Cowboy. It still has a pretty transparent base. It's just a little bit peachier than this one. But both of these I think are stunning for summer when you want that glossy sort of glazed lid, and it gives you that wet looking shadow, but it lasts all day long. And this is coming from someone with very oily eyelids. I do want to mention the new Merit Tinted Mineral SPF. Personally, I use this as makeup. I don't use this as my SPF or as my sunscreen because it's not going to give you the sufficient coverage unless you use a lot. And I don't like to use a lot. I kind of just like to use this as a base product. Whatever SPF you use under it, please just make sure it's completely set down so that the sunscreen in this doesn't counteract or make any issues with your base sunscreen. That said, this is really lovely. I have the shade 24. It's a little bit warm. It's not like the perfect match for me, but it is sheer. So I feel like once it's blended out, that's just a swatch of the color. I feel like once it's blended out, I don't really notice it too much. I might look for a slightly more neutral shade if there is one. But again, Merit base products are all very natural and very sheer. So again, it like doesn't make that much of a difference. The texture of this is really interesting. It's kind of like a gel, and I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was gonna be more of like a tinted moisturizer, more of a cream feel, but it has a gel feel, which is nice because it feels lightweight. It is dewy, but it's not it's not like oily, it's not greasy, and it gives you radiance, but it does set down from when you initially apply it, and it wears well throughout the day. I am really liking it. That said, I'm wearing their Minimalist Stick today as my only foundation. I think that one's just so easy to use and apply, and I'm super lazy lately, but this is nice to have in the arsenal, and it's also such a different texture. They're not really comparable, and of course this has your SPF 45. Again, not enough to use as your only SPF, in my opinion, but it's nice to have that in there. Okay, let's move on to some body, some hair. If you're someone that likes to wear shorts, skirts, show your legs a little bit more, you may find this really useful. So this is the Honey, the Fatty Acid Moisture Stick. It's basically a moisturizer in stick form, and it's great because if you are getting ready to go out, but you need a little bit of extra moisture, but maybe you don't want to slather yourself in moisturizer or a heavy cream. This is great because you can literally just like roll it onto your legs. I feel like it's nice because it gives you like that moisturized look, no ashy knees or shins or anything like that. And if you just need to touch up before you go out, it's great. And it's also not too thick. So it's not going to leave like oiliness on the surface of your skin, but it is going to give you that moisturized look. I know it's kind of specific and kind of niche. You could use it across your whole body if you wanted to, but it's especially good for places like elbows, like knees, maybe even a collarbone, and it just gives you like a little bit of extra moisture as you're heading out the door. Another thing I want to mention, these are in my car right now, but UPF gloves. I wear these actually every single time I drive because I live in LA in Southern California. We get sun year round, and these are so important for protecting your hands. I know we think again about face, now we're trying to think about chest, but you also want to think about your body. And I don't know about you, but I don't always like to apply SPF or some like hand cream to my hands right before I drive. I like my hands to be dry on the steering wheel. So UPF gloves are my best friend. I think the ones I have are from Coolabar. I'll link them below. And I just use them every single time I drive, and it will protect your hands. For hair, I have really moved away from aerosol dry shampoo. I don't know when this happened because I used to be such a religious dry shampoo user, but definitely in the last year, maybe more. I wash my hair more frequently. I just don't like the buildup on the scalp. Even though I love my living proof dry shampoos, it does over time lead to buildup. That's just inevitable. And of course, there's ways to deal with that by getting a good cleanse, etc. But I recently have discovered the Crown Affair dry shampoo, and it is such a game changer because it's so lightweight. So look at this. It's a jar, and it's actually a powder, like a loose translucent powder for your hair. So you get the same jar sort of sifter thing that we see in makeup, and it comes with its own dedicated little brush. So you can actually get really controlled application, and it basically powders down or mattifies your hair. And this has been a lifesaver for me because I can use it in a more targeted way, especially when I just want to use it along my hairline or something. It's been perfect for that. It also has the signature Crown Affair scent, which smells so good. I feel like I'm using way less product in my hair, and because it's just a light touch of powder, it washes out so much more easily than some of the other binders that come in aerosol dry shampoos. So this has been so great. I also got in some fun new hair clips from Solar Eclipse. How cute are these? So Solar Eclipse, I've talked about them before. They make really cute bag charms, keychains, hair brushes. Their hair accessories are new to me. I love this. It is a claw clip, but it's flat. So it actually kind of like sits flush with your head when you use it to secure your hair. And it's nice because sometimes, especially when I'm driving, you know what I'm talking about, you don't want a claw clip kind of digging into your head. I spend a lot of time in traffic, so I think about these things. And also just like looks so cute on the back of your head. And again, it just like lays flat against your head. And then this is a more classic claw clip, but this is their seashell version. This one comes in like 4 different colors, and it's like a medium size, and I just think it's so cute. I really love the blue color. I thought it would look good like as a pop of color against my hair color. But they have like tons of these. They have different fruits, they have taxi cabs, they have flowers, like tons of different designs. I'll link them below. They're super cute. And then I have some travel items from Cadence. I know a lot of us are probably doing some summer travels, and over the years, I have really seen the value in investing in good travel items, especially if you're a frequent traveler. So this is their new travel case, and it's clear, which I love. This is the small size, I believe. These come in a bunch of different colors, like this part comes in a bunch of different colors, and it's magnetic. So it just kind of snaps together like that. And each bag is coded with the size. So I think you can see here, this is half a quart, and each bag comes with its own tab. But because this is clear, you can see everything that's in your bag. It just makes it easier when traveling. The magnet is super secure. And I love that you can clean this out really well. I've had so many travel bags over the years that I can't clean out. And over time, you just kind of have to eventually toss them because the grime and dust and just stuff accumulates. This, you can literally just take a wet towel and just rinse it out. And then this is what I've known Cadence for in the past. These are their travel containers. Decanting makes such a big difference with your travel weight. And I love these containers. I've had them before, but I haven't had them in this colorway. And I think they're so cute. And these are great because, as you can see, they're magnetic. The labels are also magnetic, and you can lift these up and switch them around to different containers. And then the inside of each container looks like that. They also have a small one that I use for medicine, for vitamins, things like that. And they also all stack magnetically, which is awesome because they're much less likely to get lost in your bag. So I know these are a little bit of a splurge, but I feel like if you're a frequent traveler, these are really helpful. These would also be really great gifts for a frequent traveler. They're really high quality and really well made, so I'll link these below as well. And then finally, let's wrap up with some fragrance. I know we've talked about a lot of things. Let's talk about body mists because there are a lot of body mist launches lately, and Glossier just came out with their version. So this is the Body Spritz. There are 2 scents. I didn't realize these scents already existed, I think in their candles or their body washes. I don't have those, I only have these. So the one that I love is called Sandstone. It's a fig-based scent, and if you love fig like me, you will love these. It also has sandalwood, so it's a woodsy green fig scent. I would say it veers slightly more unisex than this one, which is Orange Blossom Neroli. This has the orange blossom. It has the powderiness of the white floral and the neroli and the orange blossom. And it's a little bit fruity, but it's more of like the actual floral side of orange blossom rather than the fruit of orange. So both of these are really lovely. They're clean, they're fresh, they're uplifting. I feel like they're also both pretty complex for a body mist. I've really been enjoying them. They also kind of pair well if you want to use them with some of their perfumes or with other perfumes. They're good like base notes, but sometimes you don't want to commit to a full perfume, you know? I feel like especially in the summer, I like to keep it fresh. I like to keep it light, and that's where something like this comes in. Another one for the fig lovers is the Josie Maran Bohemian Fig Fragrance Mist. They just launched these. They also have vanilla vibes, which I love. There's golden hour. All of the Josie Maran scents I really love. Unlike the Glossier, this is more of a creamy fig, kind of like a coconutty fig, and it's a little bit sweeter. It's a little bit more tropical, a little bit juicier, so they're kind of on the opposite ends of the spectrum for a fig scent. But they're both really, really lovely, and I love all of the Josie Maran scents, honestly. Ooh, it's so good. It's so uplifting and summery and fresh. Love it. And then lastly, I want to mention the Solid Perfume Balms by Noise. I discovered Noise at the end of last year, and I've really loved their fragrances. They're on the more affordable end for fragrances, but they're still really edgy, they're punchy, they're interesting, and they came out with these recently. So it is a perfume solid balm, and it comes in all of their classic or their collection of fragrances, and you can also get their little keychain. And I thought this was super cute for those of us that are on the go this summer. Maybe you want to retouch, you're going to the pool or the beach or something, and you don't want to actually bring a spray SPF or perfume, not SPF. My brain is all mixed up. My favorite scents from them are Unmute, which is actually a vanilla-based scent. It's not too sweet of a vanilla. It's kind of a woodsier vanilla, so it's not as like gourmand in a dessert way. The other one I like is called Lost and Found, and this one is citrusy, it's woodsy, It's clean, it's fresh. There are notes of lemon, jasmine, and cedarwood. So it's more uplifting. I feel like it's good for summer. If you do get this little attachment, it's actually super secure. I have clipped it onto my handbags. I've clipped it onto different things. I've just like thrown it in bags, and it's super, super secure, and it's so cute. Okay, so that is everything. I know that was a lot, so I will of course have everything linked below. Would love to hear your summer favorites, your summer essentials. If there's anything you think I need to try, let me know. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.